So that brings us to the part you've been waiting for. How do we actually construct the clouds? Well, let's jump in here. Let's start off with reminding ourselves of the 5 lines. We've got the Tenkan-sen, we've got the Kijun-sen, we got the Senku A and B, and of course the Chiku. Plus we've got the candles. Those are all the 5 lines, and then the 6th component being the candles there. We're going to break each of these down, and I'm going to show you how they're calculated, and then of course that will help construct the entire clouds here. So let's start with the Tenkan-sen. With a Tenkan, this is a variation of a simple moving average. So I'm going to assume that you know what a simple moving average is, and it's the basic principle of the moving average, but there's some distinctions. One distinction that Ichimoku Sanjin created here is it uses a midpoint price. It does not take your typical average. If you look at your typical moving average, you're going to have, say, 7 or 8 days. You add everything up and divide, and that creates your average price. That's not what the mid price point does. It takes the last 8 days, or however many days are in your setting there, and it takes the mid price of the entire trading range for all those days, and that becomes the average. So it's a little bit different the way that it constructs it. Now with the cloud system, we use a 9-day setting, and that's what the Tenkan-sen is going to be. It's going to be a 9-period setting of a midpoint average. So the way it's going to work is you're going to average the mid price of the last 9 sessions. Take a look here. Here's the formula: 9-day high plus the 9-day low, divide it by 2, and that gives you the average price for that day. Let me show you a construction here. So let's take a look at how we construct this here. So if you look at these candles on this chart, let's just go back 9 trading sessions. So you can count 9 days there, 9 candles. And we're going to take first the intraday high and then take the intraday low. Now that is the extreme trading range of the last 9 days. Okay, so you got the complete trading range of the last 9 days there. Now we're going to divide that in 2, and that creates the mid price point. And boom, there's your mid price average of the last 9 trading sessions. So for this particular day, that is your 9-period Tenkan-sen. That is your 9-period mid price average. So we'll put a dot in there, and that's your Tenkan price for that day. Now, let's move everything forward a day and watch what happens. Now all the days shift forward. Now we've got a higher high. You just take the higher high, you take the lowest low of the last 9 days here, you divide it in 2, and you can see that our Tenkan has moved up a little bit. Now we're going to shift it forward again, and you can see now we've got a new higher high. But if you look here, you notice that we've got a lower low. Actually, it's a higher low, sorry. The low of the last 9 sessions, though, has moved up. And so it's actually a higher adjustment in here than the one before. Even though the intraday high wasn't that much higher, the 9-day low was substantially higher. So you see it's a much different picture here. And then you're just going to keep doing that. You take the high of the last 9 days, the low of the last 9 days, divide it in 2. The other thing that's interesting about this is, unlike a regular moving average, with a regular moving average, if the stock starts to come down, the line will keep coming closer and closer to it. With the Tenkan, it's not necessarily like so. Take a look here. You notice how the line starts to go flat. You see how these dots are the same? Because it's still the same highest high and lowest low of the last 9 days, even though you've got a new trading session in here. And so this new trading session did not have any impact to what was the highest high or the lowest low of the last 9 trading sessions. So you end up with a flat line. And that's interesting because it actually provides an interesting place to set stops, which we'll look at in future sessions here. Keep moving it forward here. You notice now we've got a higher high, and our low has actually come up a little bit, so our Tenkan line keeps coming up a little bit more. And if you go another day or two here, you see how now we've got a lower day, we have a lower high, and the line is staying flat. The line did not go higher, did not go lower, it just stayed flat because that was still the average price. And so again, this is a distinction that's a little bit different than the way a regular moving average is drawn. Regular moving averages actually average everything out. This does not. It takes the 9-day trading range, and it takes the mid-price point, and it constructs a line from there. So if you were to construct a line through here, drawing all these mid-price points together, that's what it would end up looking like, and that is the Tenkan-sen. That is the first of the 5 lines that we're going to construct. Now let's take a look at the same chart. This is a 9-day simple moving average. That's your typical Western 9-day moving average. And notice how smooth it is across the screen here. Now watch, we're going to put the Tenkan line on here, and you notice how it's choppy. Why is it choppy? It's choppy because of the way that it does the formula. So you can see both of these together here. You just notice that the green line, which is the 9-period simple moving average, is totally smooth, whereas the orange line is not. Why do we have these kind of little flat spots here? Because that mid-price point takes the highest high, the lowest low of that period, divides it in two, and that's how you get the mid-price average there. So that's where the tin can comes from, and that's how it's constructed.